me. I'm going to show you how to make this cute quirky little snowman today. His eyes are a bit skew with, but I think that makes him even more cute. He's a lovely little ornament to stick on a shelf or to hang from a tree or as a door hanging for Christmas. I wouldn't use him as a toy because he's got pieces that could be a choke hazard, but I'd definitely have him as a little ornament or something. It's very simple to make. It's basically 2 pom-poms, a little scarf, some jingle bells, googly eyes. Before I start on this, I was running a crochet giveaway on my channel and on my blog, and the winners have been announced today. So it's over there on a blog post that's on my website, which is craftlittlethinguk.com/blog, and it's the top post at the moment. Is a lady in Ontario called Christy, and then I decided to throw in another little smaller pack of stuff for a runner-up, and that was somebody in the States called Hadie. So well done to those 2 ladies. Right, so I'm going to make this a little bit different in that this used a DK luster yarn, and I'm just going to use a really chunky DK in white. Both of the yarns I'm using today came from Marriner yarns. I like Marriner yarns, because they're good quality, great for beginners, really versatile and really inexpensive. I think their chunky is £1. Well, I'll put links to them anyway, but their chunky is really super cheap. And I'm going to use, instead of using black for his hat and scarf, I'm going to use this brown colour because I've got tons of it, because I got it for gingerbread men. And I'll put in the description the exact shades and link to these there. This is only £1 for a 100-gram ball, which is really good value. So first of all, I'm going to use a 3mm hook to do the scarf and the hat, and I'm using some yarn scissors, and I'm going to be using 2 sizes of Pom-Pom Maker. Now it's up to you what size pom-poms you want or what size snowman you want. I'm going to use this size and then this size for the head. Okay, so that's like these. I use this set. I don't even know who they're by. Oh, hang on, they've got a size on them. This is a 5.5 centimetre, and this is a 7 centimetre. So I'm assuming that's in diameter there. So if you don't have a pom-pom maker, what you want to do is make yourself 2 discs of cardboard, any cardboard left over from a box or cardstock you have lying around, and you just make 2 circles and then cut out the inner circles. So you've got 2 donuts, and then you just hold them together and you just wrap your yarn around, and then when you're finished wrapping and your hole's full, you just cut between the 2 pieces of paper, slide them off slightly, tie them up and pull them apart. Okay, so it's more or less the same principle. So I'm not going to bore you stupid with this. I'm going to speed you up while I make my pom-poms. I'll do one with you, but I will speed you up while I'm wrapping it, and then the other one I will do off camera, just so that you're not bored out of your mind. Okay, so I'll do the larger one with you because then you get to see how to do it. So basically what you do is you take your 2 parts of your pom-pom maker and you fit them together. You can see there's holes and there's raised sections. So you want the holes to line up with the raised sections. It won't clip together like that, but it'll hold, sort of. Right, so then what you want to do is start wrapping. So you just get your yarn and you just start wrapping it around those 2 pieces, your first 2 pieces. So when you've finished, what you do is you push the two pieces together and you clip them down, okay? Then you take your yarn scissors, and you need some nice sharp scissors for this. I'm just going to cut that a little bit. And what you do is you just cut along the groove, the space there. Okay. Just cut between the two. Just rest the bottom of your scissors in that little recess, you'll be fine. Then take your yarn and wrap it around. What I do is I wrap it around a couple of times just to pull my pom-pom together, and then I cut that off. And then I get a piece of yarn and I put it through and I tie it in a knot, really tight, and then I do the other side, just let it roll over and do the other side and tie it in a nice tight knot again, and then I just snip it. And then I'm going to leave a nice long tail for that, okay? And then what you do is you just unclip your pom-pom holder, open it out and take it off. Now, depending on what you're making your pom-poms for, you might want to trim them more or less. You might not want to trim them at all. But if you do want to trim them, then just go ahead and give them a trim to make the edges nice and uniform. The other thing is, if you want a really dense, really sort of thick pom-pom, you know, the more you cut it down, the thicker it gets. But that's fine for me, that's fine. And so then this is going to be the body, and so this is just going to be used to attach the head. Okay, so now I'm just going to make, oh, those fibres. Now I'm just going to use the smaller one of my pom-pom makers. This is the 5.5 centimetre. I'm just going to stick that together like that, and I'm just going to make another. You could just do this and this would suffice, to just put them together and tie them together so that one's on top of the other. Okay, and that's all you need to do. It's so simple. You can sew them through if you want, but you don't have to. That's all I did, just tied the two strings together. And now if you want to, obviously your scarf's going to go around the neck. You want to just define the neck a little bit more, just tie it a little bit tighter around the neck. if you want to hang this from somewhere now, you thread these onto a needle. And how easy was that to make? Now, I'll just take a couple of jingle bells. I get these from the Works for £1. I'll put a link to those below. And a couple of big googly eyes. Now, it's up to you how you attach these, but all I do is I put a little bit of super glue onto the back of the eyes and I just stick them on. As easy as that. The jingle bells I sew on. That's something I forgot to pick up, a yarn needle. Just going to grab some of the chunky yarn, thread it through a nice big yarn needle. Again, if you're doing this with kids, a nice big chunky needle is going to be safe. Nice big plastic needle is going to be safer to use. They won't jab themselves with it. Do keep an eye on it though, make sure they don't go running around the room with it and fall and stick it in their eye or something. And if they're really little kids, that they're not swallowing it. And then just cut that one down. And then what I do is I just sort of go for where I want to put it. Try and feel, you'll feel some tension as you go into the middle of your pom-pom. If you head for the middle of your pom-pom, it'll hold better. And just pull it through. And now just put your yarn needle back through a little bit higher. And then just thread on the second jingle bell. My daughter was here at the weekend and she told me she doesn't like jingle bells. I was like, well, how can you not like jingle bells? Mortally wounded. I put them on everything. I didn't even know she didn't like ginger bells. I felt like I'd ruined her life by rattling them around all the time. Right, and then just tie a knot behind that and pull it nice and tight. And that should sit nicely, okay? And then because it's a pom-pom, you don't even have to worry about your end because you can just blend it in with the rest of your pom-pom. Keep trimming. And then you've got, so now you've got a little jingle. The dog keeps looking around to see what's jingling because he's got toys that jingle, obviously. Right, so now we're going to quickly make the, I mean, we can put the eyes on now if you want. I just use little tubes of super glue. I buy them by the bucket load from the pound shop, I think. I'll just pop a generous amount on the back. Let it go a little bit tacky. It's fine with any glue if you let it go tacky. It sticks better. Okay, so to make the scarf, it's really, really simple. You just chain, so you start off with a slip knot. Just get the focus first. So you lay your yarn over your fingers, wrap it round, hook under the first strand, pull on the second strand. There's your slip There's your slip knot. Then you just chain 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what you want want to do, you want to chain another 3. So remember where that, hold on to where your last stitch is, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now what you want to do is you want to come back into that weight, the stitch you're holding on to, with a half double. So yarn over, hook in, pull some yarn through, you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And now what you want to do is a half double crochet, that's in US terms, half treble in UK terms, into every stitch all the way back. So yarn over, hook into the next stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, hook into the next stitch, grab some yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over. And so you make it to the last one and you put your hook in just as normal, make your last half double, and then in your very end pull some yarn through and then just pull it through your hook without making a stitch. And then we're just going to cut our yarn off, pull it through and finish off. And then you'll just sew in those ends and then you have your little scarf to put around his neck. Now to make the hat, just going to draw off some yarn. No matter what size hat you were making, whether it was for a little snowman or a real person, a baby, an adult, whatever, it would be exactly the same principle. We start with a magic ring, and the magic ring is in the absolute beginners if you're not sure what to do. So we start off as we do for a slip knot, but we put our hook under the first piece of yarn, pull the second piece, and then we go back and pull through another piece from the second piece, and that gives us our magic ring. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to put 6 double crochet into that ring. So that's in US terms. That's yarn over, hook in, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, hook in, grab some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, hook in, grab some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we want to end up with a total of 6 stitches with that first chain counting as our first stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 1 more. Yarn over, hook in, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then I'm just going to pull the straggler to pull those ends together. Now I'm going to go to the top of that chain 3 and I'm going to do a slip stitch like so. I've got my circle, and now I'm going to chain 3 again, and in the same stitch that I've just done the slip stitch in, which is the hole, you'll be able to see it because it'll be sort of a hole at the bottom of the stitch that you've got on your hook. I'm going to yarn over, put my hook in, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 for another double crochet. So it's essentially I've got 2 double crochets in 1 stitch there. Then I'm going to put 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So yarn over, hook in, grab some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm going to put another one in the same stitch. And I'm just going to go all the way around, and I'm just going to put 2 double crochet in each stitch. So the next one, and the next one. Now we should have 12 stitches around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12. So in the top of that stitch there, which is our first stitch, you just want to do a slip knot. And now you want to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 stitch in the next stitch, so we're going to yarn over, hook in, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. In the next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochet, so that's 1 and that's 2. In the next stitch we're going to put 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to put 2 double crochet. We're going to put 1, and then we're going to join at the top of that last chain. And now you can see we've got more or less a hat shape here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch around. And there's our hat. Okay, our little bobble hat. So I'll leave those stragglers as they are because we're going to need them to sew on. And then I'm just going to make a little pom-pom for the top of the hat. And I'm not going to use the pom-pom maker. I'm just going to use my fingers this time. So I'm just, because I only want a tiny pom-pom, so I'm just going to wrap it around my fingers, keep some space between my fingers, don't let them get too close together. Wrap lots of yarn around and then snip it off, and then get a length of yarn, snip it off and pop that through my fingers. I found the best way is to just pull it through with a crochet hook. Pull it through to the front. Pull it nice and tight. Once you've got the yarn in the centre, you should be okay. I'll turn it round to the other side, just do another knot. And then what you want to be doing is just take your scissors and just cut through those loops that you're left with, and you'll end up with a pom-pom. Okay, now because it only needs to be a really short pom-pom, keep a string for stitching it together. You can really trim it down and make it, and that'll make it more fluffy, more substantial. Okay, in terms of, obviously it won't make it more substantial because it'll be smaller, but it'll make it more sort of compact, if you like, more, it'll seem like you've used more yarn than you really have. Okay, and now all you'll do is you'll just take a yarn needle, you'll just take a yarn needle and thread it up. Using that yarn off your pom-pom, push it through the top of your hat, and then just tie it to your straggler in the top of your hat. And then you can stitch it in if you want, or you can just snip that off because you're not going to see that because it's inside the hat and it's nice and secure. And then you can just tidy up anything that left to be tidied. And there's your little hat. And then what I do is I just stick this yarn into a needle. Yeah, so I just hooked it through into the middle of the pom-pom, out to the back of the scarf, just knotted it through the scarf, and then I just took it back up and hid it back inside the top of the hat so it just doesn't come off. Okay, so I hope you've really enjoyed making these. They're so cute and so easy to make, and I'll see you again very soon.